morning, class. To start off, many people have done serving, whether it be in a restaurant or banquet service. Some of you may have not, and for everybody, this is going to be a crash course on how to effectively get as many tips as possible. Because we all know as servers, you're usually paid lower than minimum wage. You're paid about between $2 and $3. And to do that, you need to get tips to compensate for that. And upon tipping out 10% to a busboy, some to the hostess or host, it can really start to drain on you. So you really got to make a little extra to really walk out all right. Now, to really start, tips come from the philosophy of reciprocal altruism, which means we are only altruistic or nice when we want something in return. So by doing more good for your table, you're doing more good for yourself in the long run, because they're going to take note of all these things, and it's going to reflect in your tip. Starting off with the greeting. Most restaurants will give you kind of a byline of what you should say. I say scrap that. Don't even worry about it. Kind of use it when you're kind of new, but then you want to start taking it your own way. Make it as personable as possible. By becoming personal, you're going to connect with the people more. You're going to get more return customers. In turn, more tips, because if they want specifically you, there's a good reason for that. So moving on from there, from the greeting, you're going to start taking the drink orders. Make sure to go around, number your seats apart from the actual tables themselves. This will help you organize everything, and you'll seem a lot more on top of the ball when you don't have to auction off the food or drinks. Most of the ways is you go by the first table to your left would be number 1, and you go clockwise around the table, which is however many numbers you'd have to have per the guests. Once that's done, get it as fast as possible. This is what the whole idea is, to get things to the people so that they have to wait the least amount of time. They're going to take note of this. The more you get things for them without even them asking, without even having to ask, if their drink is getting about that high, just don't even worry about asking for another soda. Just get them another soda and get it on there. They're going to be amazed that they didn't even have to ask for it. It's very, very helpful. It's gotten me through a lot of tough times. But sometimes the table doesn't always go well. And
Professor, what about when the drink costs $10 and they're not so happy receiving the second one?
well, if they're not happy with it, then I would definitely go do anything you can to fix it. Your job right there is to just quickly apologize, do anything in your power to take care of it. Make sure she knows you're going to take care of it. Tell her yourself, I'm personally going to go this to the manager and get this fixed for you. Once you can get that fixed, you're going to go to the manager, you're going to go to the bartender, whoever you need to go through, and you're going to have them take care of that. And once you do, you get it back to them as soon as possible. Once again, apologize again, let them know that this is not any way, shape, or form acceptable. But at the same time, just make sure that they're happy, because if they're not happy with the way it comes back, because I've had steaks go out and come back multiple times bad, but still, following my tips, I've been able to garnish enough, at least maybe an 18-20% tip out of it, even though the steaks went bad all day long. So also on top of that, anything they need, you can do. Don't let it show in your face that you do not approve of this. If somebody's wants all this extra cream for their coffee, don't think just because you don't like it that it's bad. And some people will just reflect that. It reflects in their face. They'll roll their eyes. They'll take a little longer getting it because they don't see it as important. Every request is important. So you have to treat it as such, which means multitasking is a must. In the server business, if you can't multitask and do this 5 things at once at least, you're going to fall behind, you're going to get stressed. But at the same time, you can't let that stress overwhelm you, because once you do, you shut down. And the restaurant business is it's like cheerleaders stacked on a pyramid. If one falls, everything's going to fall. Yes?
On any given table, what's a good number of times to check on them?
That's a very good question. I would say most places do. After they get their drinks, make sure everything's okay.
That's one.
After you get their food for them, though, you wait for them to take the first bite. It's called first bite, last bite. So you're going to take once they take the first bite, you see everyone's kind of eating a bit, you're going to come over, ask them how everything's going. They'll let you know if there's a problem, then you can correct it, and it's not done too late. And then the last bite check would be as they finish their meal, you see how everybody finished it. Did it finish well? Did the meal end well? Was it kind of bad around the end? Something you can improve on. Anything you can refer back to the managers and the cooks. And also, if anytime they look like they need something, really, it varies on tables. Some tables are needier than others. Some tables want to talk to you all day. Some tables don't even want to see you. They want you to be like a ghost and just only when you're needed. Yes?
5 minutes.
Oh, that wasn't a question. All right, well, yes.
Does that change when you do like drink orders, like you're doing booze, like how often you refill their glasses?
If it's booze, you always ask. Don't just get them another alcoholic beverage because that is not as good. Because like sodas are often free in a restaurant, so you can get them as many free drinks. Really, it wouldn't hurt anyone. But you know, if you get a beer made, you get an extra beer, an extra margarita, and they didn't want it. Now you're sitting with a margarita that's just going to get warm and cold. No one's warm and hot. Like it's going to melt down. No one's going to want it. No one wants stagnant alcohol. And when it comes time for dessert, if you can be lucky enough to push this, always have ideas in mind of what you want to offer. Every meal, you're going to have a favorite burger, or a favorite appetizer, something that you can at least kind of describe using descriptive words in order to get them to want it. Because the more you can get these people to spend, the bigger the check is, which means the bigger that 20% in your pocket's going to be. And as that comes to an end, get them their coffee, whatever they need. Any final things, never drop the check until everything's done. Don't drop the check until all the dessert is finished. You don't want to make them feel rushed, because if you give them in some restaurants it's kind of different though, because in a chain restaurant they want to move tables, move tables, move tables. But as an a la carte server, which is what you want to hopefully get, you want to be a little slower in order to get those, make everybody feel comfortable and not rushed. And if you've followed those steps and really handled yourself well with your table, you'll be looking at a nice big tip for cash in your pocket.